What's going on, hockey fans? Dan K, Lucas Jones. The Dan K Show is back, and our three things kick us off. Dan K's three things. Thing number
Well, might as well do a cold open.
Dan K's three things starts again. Thing number one: turn off your alarms, Dan K. When you have meeting reminders, don't leave the audio on when you're on a podcast taping for the Dan K Show. Unprofessional. Thing number two: the Dan K Show ain't no hobby, like my boy Kiz says, but Kizzy was in trouble this weekend, and Kizzy was the Dan K Show. Our power rankings got torn to shreds by the great play of hockey teams wanting redemption nationwide. We were the rallying cry in multiple locker rooms this weekend as they took down teams ranked above them in the Dan K Show power rankings. We've got a lot to talk about there. Thing number three: for the first time ever, NCDC Power Rankings. That's where we start. That's where I bring in my right-hand man, my consigliere, mon frere from another mare, and the man who apparently lives in the fuzzyverse because it is all blurry behind him. You'll never know what's in his room or in his studio. Lucas Jones. Spooky background for
Ooh.
you today.
Yeah, we are waiting on a couple of key pieces of equipment here to really put the finishing touches on my recording location. I will be stealing exclusively Brian Flores's recording setup. I saw it on the hockey broadcaster battle fantasy draft, and I said I like that. I'm stealing it. I'm making it mine. But I will give credit, unlike some others do when they steal things. Huge shout out to Brian Flores for inspiring what my new setup will be, hopefully debuted next week.
Good for you, man. I'm glad you're keeping your hockey focus up there and making sure that you tell people that when you steal stuff that you tell them that you're doing it. That's a very good move. I am excited today. Before we get into the NCDC talk, let's talk swag. We got stuff, Lucas. It's going to be very limited time offering. I bought these from our distributor. These are Dan K Show Cup Series. You can see the little logo there. Dan K Show Cup Series tiki mugs, and they are solid,
Legit.
legit. These are legit tiki mugs that you can have a pop at it. You could have coffee at it. These are hot and cold safe, and these are awesome. Your Dan K Show Cup Series tiki mug. There's only 30 of these. Only 30 right now. If you guys go crazy for them, I'll get more. We've also got Dan K Show coffee mugs. Look at that. We love our coffee and we love you. Dan K Show coffee mugs are in. And we, of course, as always, have our cool Dan K Show t-shirts here. So you can support the Dan K Show and go to dankshow.com. We're going to set up a little spot there. Remember, though, all shipping and handling done. It's more like shipping and dandling because
I knew it.
Dan is going to have to do it all by his lonesome. We are not a business. I have no clue how to run a shipping business. So if you order it, bear with us. We will send you wonderful gifts. I'll even put a little customized note into whatever you purchase from myself saying, hey, sorry it took me forever to send this stuff. I still owe some people some gear from back when my distributor, my wonderful distributor, forgot to send me anything that was correct. So we got some stuff to do. Again, the shipping and dandling will come to you.
All orders packed and shipped excitedly, but potentially reluctantly by Dan as the orders come in. That'll be interesting. I feel like halfway through that spiel is when you realize that you would actually be packing and shipping all of those orders
Yeah.
because you could see your face kind of fall away a little bit as that realization hit.
I started thinking to myself, like, how are these going to get out? And I started looking around the room, going, "Oh, this is only me. This is a one-man crew here." But that's okay. I've got my lightsaber, and it's time for the Dan K Show power rankings in the NCDC. Lucas, first power rankings ever. You look through the NCDC right now. Some familiar faces at the top, but also some new guys as well. Start of the season, some teams have gone younger, some teams have gone older. We've seen where that's kind of taken folks. We kick it off Our honorable mention, first team outside the top five, the Boston Advantage.
Yeah, I mean, the Boston Advantage looked hugely impressive in person. Right now, they're sitting in third place in the North. They're at 12 points, one more game played than the Twin City Thunder. For me, I don't mind that negative 4 goal differential. They're keeping it close right now. They're not taking a ton of penalties. They're making things happen when they get the opportunity. And you know what? They made a statement. They beat the Jersey Hitmen. They've given the Jersey Hitmen their only loss. That is no fluke, right? So this is a Boston Advantage team that is primed and ready to crack into the top five.
Last time I was told that is no fluke is when I accidentally hooked a big bull shark in the water. And I went, oh, this must be a fluke. Reached my hand in to scoop him up. They said, Dan, that is no fluke. That's a shark. I do not know my fish. But what I do know is Eric Altman is a goal scoring beast. 7 goals, 5 assists for Altman on the year, 12 points for him. That's 1.2 a game. Is in year 2003. He ranks 8th among all players. He's in a tie for 6th technically with Herrera, Norwell, and Ahern, as well as Copre from the Rockets Hockey Club. Look at this advantage size. You also have Panchizin, 4 goals, 6 assists for him on the season. He's been stellar. You go between the pipes, and it's none other than Nick Bevilacqua when you're talking about the Boston Advantage. This is a guy who is even better than the numbers tell you right now. 4-1 on the season, a 2.94 goals against, a 9.26 saves percentage. He's already stopped nearly 200 shots in his first 5 starts. This kid gets the job done in net. Watch out for the Advantage, and they are going to immediately get a chance to move their way into the power rankings this Sunday when they take on our number 5 team, the New Hampshire Junior Monarchs.
Yeah, as fate would have it, they play each other this Sunday at Lovell Arena. That is going to be fun. A gorgeous building, by the way. We finally got a tour of it from Britt Hart. I mean, it is 3 sheets. They're building bowling alleys and golf simulators and a restaurant. It's going to be incredible. New Hampshire Junior Monarchs going to have to take their eyes off the splendor and keep them on the ice. New Hampshire, I know they're in the top of the North Division, 7-3, 14 points. For me, as much as I love the defense of the New Hampshire Junior Monarchs, they have the best defense in the North, the second best in the NCDC. They're not scoring a ton of goals. They're winning games close. For me, at the NCDC level, that's a bit of a razor's edge, especially for a team that's in first. So I think there's a little bit of a warning bell in New Hampshire. If that offense can right itself, I think they're also ready to move up.
Here's where New Hampshire continues to succeed. It is in net with Jake Fillion. Fillion is 6-1 on the season, a 9.47 saves percentage, a 1.42 goals against, and he would be the best goaltender on the planet if we didn't have one more guy we're going to be talking about later in these power rankings who has been unbelievable, unrealistic in net. This is a year 2003 in Jake Fillion, who should be in a Division I net next year. Jake just does everything right. He's another guy who's nearly seen 200 shots already in his first 8 games. He's got 195 saves. He's got 2 shutties. He just does just about everything right when he's between the pipes. And you talk about it, Lucas, a team without a point getter in the top 20 in the NCDC right now. This is not a team that's going to outscore you. This is not a team that's going to run you off the ice. A little different look than last year's squad. They've got Jimmy Fallon, who's done doing late night. He's scoring goals now. He's got 3 goals and 4 assists, 7 points. It's great. It's awesome. It's wonderful. 2 game-winning goals for Jimmy Fallon. You got Retman, you got Sullivan, and Xander Lazat is back again, our favorite defenseman in this NCDC. Xander is insane. 2 goals, 3 assists already in the young campaign for the year 2002. He is a go-get-him guy for any coach anywhere right now at the NCAA ranks this year, a guy who's ready to go for you right away. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4, the Connecticut Junior Rangers. Coach Jim Henkel was unhappy with last season, what the record looked like, the standings, and he said, I am going to not stop working. I'm going to power myself with nothing but confetti pancakes, and I'm going to build a winner, and he has done just that. Billy Shields is on reels, 13 points for him. Tomas Toth. The question from Jim Henkel, he said, you're going to keep an eye on Toth? After the game, he goes, how good is Toth? He is that good. 4 goals, 9 assists for him. Jack Arizo, you talk about Miller, Jextinian Sheffield, or Jex for short, Spencer and Skylar Flansburgh. Crazy stat, born on the same day and they look alike. And the same last name, crazy enough.
What a coincidence. Yeah, the Connecticut Junior Rangers, there's a lot of things I could say about this team, but I think I'm going to keep it simple. They looked really good. They looked really, really, really good. The passing was crisp. The open ice hits were good. They looked fast. They looked physical. I think the biggest thing for me right now with this team is they are the perfect balance in my eyes of size and speed. There are big guys who can skate. There are fast guys who can hit. They post themselves up in spots around the ice. They are tough to dislodge. This is a gritty, tenacious team that can score the puck in bunches. They look really good as an NCDC team right now.
Yeah, and you look at net, we got a chance to see the brick wall, as we call him, Mason Joseph, who's 3-0 on the year in his starts. On the other side, you got Alexander Bonrui. And the only thing you could say right now about this Connecticut Junior Rangers team is they're just letting too many pucks get to the net, right?
Right.
You see 322 shots faced already by Alexander Bonrui in 8 games played. That is a large total. Yes, he's seen 2 overtime games, one that went to a shootout, but he's had to make 296 stops. He's still got a 919 saves percentage. He's got a 317 goals against. You talk about in net, they've got enough. And right now, I can tell you, Coach Henkel's going to be telling the boys, let's start blocking some shots. Let's start outplaying some folks. And he wants to see a full 60 out of them. The one pick he had on his squad was that he needed to see that full 60 out of the boys for an entire game. You saw against the Rockets Hockey Club over there, Lucas, for Scoutcast. They dominated the first 15 and fell asleep for the next 25 and then just ran away in the third period.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing that he talked to us after the game about. It's something that he's going to be pushing. The Connecticut Junior Rangers are a team that's always improving, always building. Coach Henkel is proud of his guys. They're hard workers, but he's never satisfied until that team is perfect.
He's like Alexander Hamilton. He will never be satisfied. Right? That's a song.
That is a song. I was wondering when we were going to get our first Hamilton reference of the season.
That was the first one. I think that's it. I don't think I've done another one yet. But, you look at that. Let's go to number 3. Number 3, the Twin City Thunder, Haji Baby, Sonic the Hedgehog, Mr. Hodgedelic, Danny Hodgepodge Magaj, Danny H, Danny Hodge. And the Twin City Thunder, these guys are better than you think. Christopher Jackson, 4-1 in net, 2 goals against average, 926 save percentage. No big deal. Trey Miller along with them. These 2 guys are right hand, left hand. They can start them any given day.
Yeah, I think you need that, right? You need 2 netminders that are just locked down, rock solid. I mean, I look at the game that we saw in person against the Boston Advantage, and that's exactly what I saw. I saw a team that never gave up the middle of the ice, right?
Yeah.
And when they were forced back into their own zone, they went to the dirty areas, they cleaned up the puck, they fired it out, they cleared it. They've got good wins all season long, good contests. I mean, I like the way that they play the game of hockey right now. I think their netminders are a huge advantage to them. They have a good goal differential, right? 23 goals against, 36 goals for. That's the best offense in the North, combined with the second best defense in the North. I think that's a winning formula to me.
Trace Norwell, one of my favorite players to watch in the NCDC right now. He won our star of the game, our GMU Sports Star of the game. 8 goals, 4 assists, 12 points, 1.33 points per game, 4 power play goals on the year. The guy just skates well without the puck. We talked about him. He's got a shorthanded goal too, so he's also killing penalties for this side. Richard Davis in 7 games, he's getting 1.43 points per game. That's 10 points for him. Eddie Paulizian, like 4 and 5 a year 2004, having big numbers, big start to the year. Nolan Leonard with 6 points a year 04. Look at Blake Tierney, the leading scorer at the blue line here, left defenseman Blake Tierney with 7 points on the season, 2 power play assists, another shorthanded goal. This is a team, Lucas, at this point in the season already with 2 shorthanded goals. They kill penalties just like Haji Baby used to do when he was on the ice with the skates laced up. They hit hard. They can play the game in net. They can outscore you. They can win the close game. I just like the versatility in Twin City. And I'm going to tell you right now, if I had to pick a non-Jersey Hitmen championship, right now the Hitmen are a first place team in the South. The Monarchs are a first place team in the North. If I had to pick a non-first place team championship, it would be Connecticut Junior Rangers, Twin City Thunder for all the marbles in the league.
That would be an interesting matchup. I think for me, the Connecticut Junior Rangers, they have that, like we talked about, that size and speed. Twin City Thunder with the versatility, the adaptability. That would be a chess match of a hockey series. I would describe it absolutely hodge-tastic. I'm rooting for that one. We move now to number 2 in the NCDC Power Rankings, and the last two, it's not that they're obvious necessarily, but we are going to be favoring the strength, I think, of one division over the other. The PAL Junior Islanders. Right now, the PAL Junior Islanders through 10 games have 16 points. They trail the Hitmen by only 2 points. I think one thing that I really like to see out of them is they have comparable offensive numbers to Jersey Hitmen. But even though their goals against is higher than the Jersey Hitmen in that division, I still really like where the goal differential's at. I still like the defensive effort that's been put up. And when you actually watch the PAL Junior Islanders, they're one of the more impressive teams across the NCDC.
Yeah, Lucas, and you might call these the Power Rankings because we all know how much I like this PAL squad this year. I think the squad up there in PAL is legit. You look at Luca Layton, a name we know well, 10 helping hands this season already, 6 of those coming on what I like to call the power play. Donovan Powell, the defenseman, with 3 power play goals already, 11 points from Jack Hewitt, 9 for Powell from the defense, 9 for Lee from the defense, 8 from Zach Hahn on the defense. What does this remind me of? The PAL Junior Islanders, the PAL Junior Islanders. I remember a man back in the day, the OG Dan K show, as we call it, named Mr. Cabs Ahead Joey Duzak, who scored goals in bunches from the blue line. He'd go out, he'd say, boys are here. Here's a couple things I do. I cross the blue line, I take a shot, and then I scored a goal, and then I pump the fist, and I head back down and maybe play a little bit of defense. Guy goes and plays for the Toronto Marlies, not a big deal. Almost wins a Hobie Baker, also not a big deal. And now you've got 3 guys who are filling that Duzak role, and Zach Hahn might be my favorite of them all, the year 2002. If I'm an NCAA coach right now looking for a defenseman who's just going to grind it out, my third D pair, can play the PK, can play the power play, Zach Hahn might be my guy.
Any team where 4 of the top 5 scorers are defensemen, I think is something that is noteworthy and something that's special. It goes to show you that, you know, as defensemen, yes, you have to stay at home, and the team's playing great defense. Their goals allowed is one of the lowest in the division. I think the fact that they're able to do that and produce offensively, it shows strong systems play. It shows that they're able to recruit really strong skaters. I love seeing all the defensemen getting involved in the scoring. I love to see the way PAL's playing right now. They are a huge, huge threat to every team in the NCDC. PAL, once they get off Long Island, you give them a little extra time to get there, but once they get to your rink, you're going to be in trouble.
Here is the biggest number for PAL right now. 97.4% success rate on the penalty kill through 10 games.
Wow.
Lucas, if I told you that the New Hampshire Junior Monarchs were still better, what would you say about that? 17 times they've been shorthanded in 10 games, 100% success rate with PK.
I don't think that doesn't make sense to use a double negative, right? I mean, you look at the Monarchs, who in 10 games have given up 17 goals. The PAL Junior Islanders in 10 games have given up 24 goals. Good for the second best defense, just behind the Jersey Hitmen. We try not to take penalties. It's not going to happen. So what's the next best thing? Kill the penalty, right?
Yeah.
You have to convert. We talk about converting special chance opportunities on the power play, but you have to stop the other team from converting those chances. You have to be locked down. You have to be shut down. Force that 5-on-5 game. I think those are really strong statistics for both teams and explains why they're so high in the standings.
Yeah, you need to watch out for this PAL team all season long. This squad can get it done. They can play defense. They can score it on both ends. And you know what, Lucas? It is nothing against Pal. The worst road trip, right? It feels sometimes like it can take a longer time to go from Wayne, New Jersey to the Pal Junior Islanders rink out there on the island than it takes to get up to Utica or Maine from Jersey. Like it is a tough road trip. You're tired by the time you get the legs off the bus. 952 saves percentage in net for Cameron Smith. Cameron Smith is back yet again, and yet again, he's one of the best. 1.82 goals against. He's 5-1-2 on the season. Pal are world beaters. Watch out for the Pal Junior Islanders. They probably do not like my pick of the non-Hitmen championship holding Twin City in Connecticut. But the Hitmen version of that championship matchup in the Deneen, the back-to-back Deneen Cup champions, the reigning champs, and the team that has only been beaten by the Boston Advantage thus far this season. Lucas, what do I always say during these power rankings? If you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. And, Boston has done it, but nobody else has figured it out. And JJ, don't call me Justin Cataldo, 7-0, a .981 saves percentage, a 5.7 goals against average, 207 stops in the early going on his first 211 shots faced. He has as many shutouts as he has goals allowed this season. Let me say it again. He has as many shutouts as he has goals allowed on the campaign. Just shut up and go get JJ Cataldo. I wouldn't allow JJ Cataldo to finish this season in net if I was a Division I college coach right now. There is no way that JJ Cataldo is not in between the pipes playing netminder for me right now. 2003, he's got time. He can still grow 6 foot tall, 186. The guy doesn't let the puck get by him. It's not like he's not seeing shots. In 7 games, he's seen over 200. My Lanty, you don't get better than this.
Yeah, I mean, you really don't, right? It is you're seeing a good amount of shots per game. You're still keeping pucks out of the back of the net. And then on the other end, the Jersey Hitmen have 7 skaters who are averaging over a point per game. So when you're just as likely to shut a team out as you are to give up a goal, I mean, it's nearly impossible to get that task done. The Jersey Hitmen coming out with a strong start this year. I just think that, when you look at their top scorer right now, 17 points, Tyler McNeil through 7 games, 6 goals, 11 assists. They score on the power play. They shut you down. It's a tall order to have to play the Jersey Hitmen, but we've seen the roadmap, right? We've seen teams like the Northern Cyclones throw a wrench into the works by just clogging up the ice, shutting them down, right? Battling with what they do. The Jersey Hitmen year after year feel like they're on the top of the standings in the NCDC, but they are a team that we have seen lose before this year and in previous years. So it's certainly not to say they are unbeatable, but right now they certainly deserve to be at the top of the power rankings.
Yeah, Lucas, you talk about that leading scorer in Tyler McNeil, and interesting. It's almost like there was this just sentient, intelligent, like world-beating hockey host. Some guy who coined the nickname McNasty last season for someone. And that person played in Fresno and played for a team with multiple 100-plus point guys. And this host guy, let's call him Dan K. Dan K said the best player on this squad and one of the best players I have seen in the nation is Tyler McNeil. And then the great Toby Harris says, you know what? Wouldn't be that hard to reach out to this young man. Give him a call. Gives him a call. Tyler McNeil comes in. And what does he do? I don't know. 95 points last season. Let's just go to the NCDC, make the jump up from the Premier, and put up a smooth 17 in my first 10 games and lead the world in the NCDC in points. I just don't know. I don't know who this Dan K guy is, but I feel like he might be pretty locked in on what's going on in hockey nationwide.
I'll tell you what, this Dan K, with that amount of hockey knowledge swimming around up in the brain, I mean, he must be pretty valuable to whatever show he may or may not be on.
I feel like he makes some pretty cool cat graphics too with Aaron Catron of the Boston Junior Bruins. I think he can also do that. But you look at this Hitman side, it doesn't just end with Tyler McNeil, Lucas. As much as we joke around and I toot my own horn. Hold on, the toot the own horn moment. I forgot to do that before I did that. But you have Nicholas Ahern. Michael DiPietro is back again. I love DiPietro. This is a kid, man. He's just going to do all the right things for your team. There's a reason why he sticks around with the Hitmen. He does all the right things. Sean Melso is back yet again at the left defense. 9 points on the year for him. Vincent Gould. You're talking about a solid Gold right winger. Nick Braun joining the squad with 10 points this season. Dante Siciliano. Watch out for Dante. Dante Siciliano. Hey, Mambo Siciliano. Dante is a 6'2" tall, left-handed shot in a year 2005. Future unlimited for Dante Siciliano. This kid is the real deal. You're going to hear this name for years to come. Talked about Tyler McNeil last year. I'm talking about Siciliano this year. Another big name to watch for. The Hitmen. Lucas at number 1 in the NCDC, our first NCDC Power Rankings ever. And it's going to continue because next year you have 6 new squads coming in from the Mountain region. That'll get us to 20 teams in the NCDC. And these Power Rankings are just going to grow with it.
Yeah, I mean, in the words of Russell Wilson, it could get a little spicy, especially when you try to figure out. Whoa, pretty dangerous. Especially when you try to figure out relative rankings. We don't know how often they're going to play each other. We don't know what that's going to look like.
Uncle Ed, number 1. My cousin Kevin, big time guy, good fun guy. Ma Dukes got to be 3. Ma Dukes can be such a number 1. You know what? Let's put Ma Dukes number 1. Ma Dukes number 1.
She's got a good goal differential. I think
good
that's
goal differential. You know, she's put up with a lot. She's got to deal with me as a son trying to explain to people what I do for a living. Good luck, Ma Dukes. People go, "What does your son do?" I think most people go like, "Oh, sorry." They think like, you know, your son's doing some, like, he's living in the basement.
She's out here pulling double shifts just trying to explain what you do for a living.
What I will say about moms, first of all, everybody watching right now, you call your mom, you call your dad, you call whoever your guardian is, whatever. Thank them for all they do for you guys, because that's how this all works. But I will say that I think my ma still hasn't figured out really what I do at all. And she's always like, I think she's still leery. I still think she's like, I'll give it a couple more years. Let's see if this whole hosting your own show thing really works out. I'm like, Mom, I'm living down in Florida. I'm living the dream of traveling the country. She's like, yeah, but, you know, you ever need a job, let me know.
She's just looking out for you. The moms, the dads, the parents, the guardians, the relatives, always looking out for everybody. And we're looking out for all you at home. We've got a quick empty net segment that's coming up soon. We're going to run back the NCDC Power Rankings for you. We're bringing up the empty net with a couple of folks who reached out and maybe a little bit of owning up to some things after the break. Welcome back. It's time for the empty net. We are going to start with a goal clip. Somebody tagged us in, and this is the point. You clip the goals, we look at the goals, we post the goals. Absolutely perfect. Perfect layup, perfect shot, perfect execution here. Let's run to the video. So this is a play that starts off in neutral ice, and it's really the initiative here by Bergerman. Seeing a little bit of puck movement, seeing an opportunity, going forehand, backhand, getting around the pad, getting the elevation right there at the end. That is what you love to see. Kind of hunting near the blue line, right? Not playing back, seeing if there's an opportunity, a pass gets away. The thing that stands out for me is from start to 100, 0 to 100 speed in almost 3 strides. 1-on-1 on the net, executes, puts that goal up there. You can't do it any better than that.
Yeah, and you look at Cam Bergerman right now, 5'8", 150. We talked about him during the scout cast. This is a guy who's got shades of a Zuccarello at times, right? Like, he can be creative. He's more of a paints outside the lines guy. He's not a paint by numbers left winger. He's going to create for you. And when you put him alongside of a tall guy like Baron Woodring, like the old school Rangers set up a Rick Nash alongside Zook, you allow the creativity to mix with a guy who puts himself exactly where he needs to be when he needs to be there, right? That Army commit style of hockey that Baron Woodring plays. 3 goals, 7 assists on the year already. He's already at a 10-point number through 9 games. He's on pace to surpass last season's 13-13. What do I say about balanced scoring? I love it. 13 goals last season. 4 of those were game-winning goals. This season, He's got 3 goals, 7 assists, 10 points. He's only taken 4 penalty minutes thus far. But what he does the best, Lucas, is he shows up in big moments. In the postseason last year in the NCDC playoffs, 2 goals, 2 assists in 5 games, 8 points for him. 8 penalty minutes, but a power play goal as well. Cam is quick, he's speedy, but he plays large, meaning he's not one of these little guys who has to keep the head up at all times around the rink. He's not always looking for that hit. He's not always dodging and weaving, right? He's less of the rabbit, more of the hare, kind of the bigger version of the rabbit, right? He's quick, a little more durable, can bounce around, and just lethal once he gets the shot on his stick.
Yeah, the big thing is playing with eyes up, right? It's that old mentality of, well, you're not puck watching, right? You're watching the skater, you're watching what he's doing. Being able to take advantage like that as the game gets faster, guys like Bergman become even more important. High awareness levels create goals. It did on that play.
As we continue to grow our Dan K Show Central Scouting that you'll see coming out soon, as well as our work with the NCDC, helping to grow this new product with the great Bob Turo, as well as Kevin Abrams, who's coming to join the fold, we ask you parents and you players to be a part of this, right? It is free to get access to the Dan K Show. That's what we love. Reach out to us the same way that we've seen so far this season from so many players at the Premier and Elite levels. Send us those clips. Send them in. We'll break them down. We'll talk through them, and we will get you in front of as many scouts as we possibly can. That is the goal here. Our goal, #players first. Thank you to Cam Bergman. That was a stellar start to the season for you. Lucas, power rankings in the Premier. Not a stellar start for the Dan K Show. We were pretty good in the Elite. We got beat up a bit in the Premier. The Dan K Show apology tour starts now.
Yeah, and we'll make the most obvious apology first. We may have swapped 1 and 2. That was a tough one. Yeah, and we do put ourselves out there quite a bit. Whenever there's a toss up between 2 teams, it kind of so happens that they end up playing each other that next weekend. So we usually get immediate feedback. The problem with immediate feedback, it is immediate and it is strong, especially when you consider the team involved. And I truthfully, this time it feels like they pulled their punches a little bit. The Charlotte Rush here, Dan.
They were nice.
They were nice about it.
They could have been grumpier. And they were very respectful about it. And also thanked me for the Dan K bump. Because I did tweet that, you know what? Were we wrong? Or
in the strictest sense, yes.
Or nope. Or was it the Dan K bump that caused all these teams to get fired up with bulletin board material and rip those bulletin boards from the moorings of their walls? Good use of moorings. I don't think walls have moorings, but sure. And fire out onto the ice. Kenny Miller used us in a speech in Toledo, from what I'm hearing. That is unofficial news. But the boys were fired up about being put at 11. That is the lowest they have been ranked in a long time in Toledo. They certainly will not be ranked there anymore after beating Metro in overtime and come from behind win. The Minnesota Squatch not in the top 20 at all. Immediately answered back to that one. The Fort Wayne Spacemen get put at number 20. MJDP beats them, so they immediately answered us. Carolina Junior Hurricanes outside the top 20, beat number 10 overall Hampton Roads Whalers twice in a row. And handedly, they took care of that series pretty well. We, in the words of Ricky Ricardo, has a lot of explaining to do. We've got a lot of explaining, Lucy. What are we doing? We are like Lucy and Ethel eating all the chocolates off of the line right now as we fall apart. But, Lucas, I think you have something for the folks at home. I think we can prove that we made 0 mistakes in a second.
Yes. So what you'll see coming up first is the a power rankings that may have been circulated live on YouTube on Thursday, allegedly. But then what you'll see coming up in just a few seconds here is the true power rankings that was always meant to be released. Always intended to be released in this format. It's like when a director makes a movie and then they come out with the director's cut later on, and then you can't really find that original version of the movie anymore. Yep. The director's cut is how the movie was always meant to be seen, and I think this is true for our power rankings as well.
100%. Lucas, parting words. Put that up. He's got nothing. Sorry, everybody. But Next Power Rankings comes up. Let me look at the calendar. Consult the calendar. Next Power Rankings, Thursday, November 3rd. So you've got 2 more weeks to put onto paper the best performances you can to allow us to then rank you high and then have someone else upset somebody and make us look dumb. We will see. November 3rd will be your next Power Rankings. Until then, keep battling. It's early in the year, but we are starting to get to that third, fourth week for some folks that start in the middle range. Second week, maybe some folks, we're now 2 months in, 2.5 months in. We start to get tired. We start to wear down. Remember, look in that mirror and ask ourselves, are we done yet? Are we done? Is this all I got? Outwork everyone. Lucas, do you know the difference between the rabbit and the fox?
I do not, but I'm sure you'll tell me.
The difference between a rabbit and a fox. A rabbit is running for his life. A fox is just running for dinner. It's why the rabbit gets away 95% of the time. Because when you outwork, when you understand exactly what you want and you go after that achievement each and every day, that's when you find your victories. That's when you survive. And that's when you're the best hockey player, student, person, family member, whatever that you can be. When Dan K is on the mic, it's always hockey night. Thank you to GMU Sport for our powered up teams of the month. You will see those powered up performances each and every month after our power rankings are released. Next time, we will do it much closer to the power rankings, so we aren't immediately proved wrong as we post them and chirped on social media. We appreciate all that chirping. That always helps. Also, remastered sleep. But first, go to gmusport.com. 22% off at checkout with USPHL 22. They've also got athletic greens now there. That is delicious. Awesome. Go get them. Next up, you got remastered sleep. Dan K Show 2022 at checkout for 10% off. Oh, Lucas, I'm falling apart. 10% off your next order. It's the water bottle of your dreams. Go get it. Don't ask any questions to me. But what I will answer you with is it will change your sleeping. If you are a snorer or somebody snores in your household, get them the remastered sleep water bottle today. I am serious. These guys are medical innovators from Minnesota, and they do an incredible job. Selly salt sprinkle on our next meal. Body Trick, body-trick.com. Body-trick.com. That's body-trick.com. Awesome, awesome, awesome company run by an awesome hockey family, a hockey mom who figured out how to take all natural products for your hockey player, for your athlete of any kind in your home. Icy hot hair products, everything you can think of to get that flow going, make you look slick and sick for the hockey season or any sport you play or just going out in the town. And also the penalty kill spray, which will make your gear stop stinking. Stop the stink. DanKShow.com. Go check it out. At @the_Dan Show, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. That's it. That's all we got. See you later. I bumped into my desk. I stubbed my toe. That hurt. Ow.
Dan K falling apart.
Really, yeah.